Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. Tonight, you have myself, co-host Mike and Asia.
Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us from space.
Of course, you know what I'm saying. I'm out in the atmosphere, floating, baby. That's what it
I mean,
is.
Earth is kind of ghetto, so
Hey, I heard it. That's why you see, I'm in outer space right now. I got my ride.
don't come back and get me.
Hey, look, I got to get the ride first. I got to get the ride. I got to pick up the whip.
Got you.
Two seat.
Got you. That see, that's what I'm talking about. All
Yeah.
right, so what we talking about tonight, Mike?
Hey, we're gonna talk about the relations of relations. Oh
Okay.
yeah. How important is getting some getting some ass in your relationship.
All right,
Yeah.
take it away.
So, hey, what's that? Oh,
So take it away.
so I ask you, since you're here, how important is you know what I'm saying sex in your relationship?
Incredibly important.
Really?
Incredibly important. Mm-hmm. Yep. It interchanges between the second and third most important thing, depending on the day.
How do you make them interchangeable though? Like what happens?
Yeah, it just depends on the day.
The day or the week?
Depends on the week,
Okay,
right?
okay, okay, okay,
At least,
okay.
at least 1 week out of the month is
Yeah,
not that deep.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
I can get behind that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the month of 3 weeks, though,
Pop,
is very important.
pop. Okay, all right, yeah, I feel you.
Very important.
I can say fairly the same because it's not the fact that I'm on some Drew Hill shit like somebody been sleeping in my bed situation. I just like it. I feel like that shows your level of attachment to that person, um, to some degree. But you ain't giving it to them. I mean, like you trying to. I guess for me, it feels like you're trying to distance yourself that connection that we have in a
Mm,
relationship. Like
yeah.
and like I said,
I,
not the fact that you have to be with somebody else. It's just the fact that you just don't want to be there.
yeah, you don't want to be intimate with me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's surprising. I didn't think that a man would have that perspective. Don't look at me like that. What? Men can be a lot more dismissive about sex overall.
You know why? You know what happens with that? That's because if okay, in a sense, in a relationship, if a woman isn't giving that man that attention, it seems dismissive because some women, some you like now I can have angry sex. We can do this shit. You know what I'm saying? I got no issue with that. And roll right the fuck over and be angry. You know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, but some women use that as a punishment. Like, okay, I'm not fucking. So then
Mm,
he gonna get right. They don't keep going through that shit, and they get this, and the dude get dismissive. Like, okay, you ain't gonna give it to me. Becky down the street, gotta go. And that's what happens.
not Becky with the good hair.
Well, she could have naps, and you know what I'm saying the whole everything.
It doesn't matter.
It don't even matter. Have a bad wig with it tilted to the side. That ain't what he there for. And then he'll go back
um,
home. He'll go back home, prop his feet up, and let you walk around that bitch man. He was like, "Oh, you ain't getting none, but my nuts is empty."
That's a very nice way of describing ain't shit, but I got you though. I feel you. I feel you. Um, but I agree though. I don't think that. it's okay to use sex as a punishment. I mean, I think it's okay to say I'm not feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. But you know what I'm saying, as a punishment, I'm a grown ass man. Don't put me on some fucking punishment. Fuck out.
But the question is whether or not it's being used as a punishment per se, or as much, or is it I'm just not feeling you, so I'm not fucking you.
And that's still that's a whole different thing.
Mm.
Because again, there's that separation. So you don't want to be intimate with me. So you're creating that space between us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that girl, so I don't. I'm just not. I'm just not. Like, I'm gonna be
Hey,
mad. I'm gonna be mad.
and
Like, I'm low key trying to end the argument in advance so that things will calm down by the time it's time to go to bed. Because I'm
uh,
still trying to get some.
I can be mad and
Huh?
smash. I can be mad and smash and roll over and go to sleep mad. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could do that, but I'm just like, if I think that, like, if I'm with someone and I don't think they have that same thought process that I do, then I'm gonna
Yeah.
probably be like, know what you got it.
Okay. You're right. Let's try and make. But see, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Depending on what the issue
Wait.
is.
I'm about to say, wait a minute, because you almost tried to fuck the man out of his feelings. We just said, don't fuck the feelings.
No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what
Okay.
I'm saying at all.
All
And there is a difference. For
all
those of
right.
you who saw the last video, there is a difference. But trying to fuck somebody out their feelings is
Okay.
using sex intentionally to distract from whatever the problem was.
Okay. Right. Okay. I agree. I do agree.
Okay. Now, being willing to let some shit go so that you can have sex, that's different.
What?
That's different. It's not. I'm not trying to fuck you out your feelings.
That
You know what I'm
seems
saying?
duplicitous to me.
It's not. It's not. It's like you got to pick your battles. It's,
You trying to lull that man into a false sense of you saying
no, you got to
placidity.
pick your battles. But see, but you got to really let the shit go though. That's what I said. It depends on what we beefing about.
Oh yeah.
If
Oh
we
yeah.
beefing
You
about
said. Well,
something that's,
you said the key thing right there.
but
Really let it go.
you got to really let it go. But
Yeah.
that's what I
Really
said.
let it
It depends on what you beefing about. Because if we
go. Okay.
beefing about something that's that deep, then no, I'm not thinking about. No, that's a lie. I am, but I'm not gonna.
I'm about to say, like, see, yeah,
I'm,
because I'm
I'm,
probably, yeah,
I would still be like, I mean, you can't.
yeah,
No, but what I'm saying is that I'm not going to just like be like for the sake of getting some. If the problem is really that serious, for the sake of having sex, no, I'm not. We're gonna talk it out. You know what I
right.
mean? And I'm not one of those people that subscribe to the idea that you shouldn't go to bed mad. And sometimes you need to sleep on that shit.
I'm about to say, no, no, I don't know who came up with that shit.
It's
You know what I'm
stupid.
saying? Yeah, shoot
And
their ass.
they ain't never been married.
Hey, look,
Or in a long-term relationship.
I'm telling you, and I mean that's something else. I watched Dr. Phil, right? And some of the advice that I'm telling you, man, Steve Harvey, Dr. Phil, two different levels. I got it. And what's that other dude? Michael Bass.
Hmm.
I, that could have been me in them good suits and the bald head on TV. But hey, it's
We're not
not.
gonna do this for video too.
Hey,
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, you know. But at the same time, um, he had a company. He had one of his shows. He was talking about him and his wife. Now, of course, they work together. She's a psychologist too. She works a psychiatrist with a psychologist, and they work together on that show. Of course, he's the
Mhm.
host. But he was like, when they're home, they're still always together. He was like, and he was like, that's the keys of making a relationship work. I'm saying you should never be apart. If I'm in one room, she's in one room. If I get up and go to another room, she comes and follows. No, motherfucker. No, I don't want you to follow me around the house like a goddamn puppy. Fuck out of here. I get up to go take a shit and you know what I'm saying, I close the door and he go, oh fuck, there she is standing behind the goddamn door. No. That is not a thing.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
I get to go downstairs and get me a drink. I turn around and go to the freezer. Damn, this bitch is there. Why?
Not why.
Like a badass, you know what I'm saying? Friday the 13th movie.
No, I don't agree with that. I think that's ridiculous.
So yeah, that's just absolutely too much. I mean, you got some people that have been married for years and that they can work together. They have that relationship. You got some people that if you have them in the same place more than 4 or 5 hours, you know what I'm saying? Talking about working and then going home together, yeah, you might have to call the police. I mean that,
Yeah.
but it's but and for some people, they can't. You know what I'm saying they just. I guess I don't know. I guess it would be somewhat codependent upon each other, so they have to have that. Have to be there for you know what I'm saying with and for each other. Like if something go down, they're like, I'm always here. Nah, you my emergency contact, nigga. You know what I'm saying? If shit go down, they gonna call
I'm done.
you because you ain't always gonna be there. I'm
Oh,
just
if something go down, they gonna call you. Anyway, no, I don't believe in that you should always be up underneath each other. But when you are up underneath each other, you need to make the best out of being up underneath each other.
yeah, and I can agree with that. I can fully agree with that. You know what I'm saying you got you saying cuddle times and stuff times. You know what I'm saying you have to be out cozy and sit outside each other and hold hands. Yes, all that shit. But that is not. You know what I'm saying we are not shackled together, chain gang style. You know what I'm saying that's not
Not
that's
a
what I'm
thing.
talking. About. And that's what he made it seem like
Mm.
that no matter where he is, no matter what he's doing, she's always there, and that is the key to having a good relationship. And I mean, every every relationship is different, and some people just can't
Yeah, I
be
was gonna
around
say
each
to
other.
each his own. That's not gonna work for everybody.
But at the same time, while you're on the subject, is he smashing like that? How that part go? You know what I'm saying? So I
We'll
don't
never
know.
know.
Probably not.
But we'll never know. But yeah, I definitely think that it's important to have certain conversations um, within your relationship at that as it relates to sex, the relations of relations.
Yes, yes, very important. There, people's you know what I'm saying ideals of sex in general because so like hey you know what I'm saying I heard somebody mention the other day talking about Bill Clinton like the ideology you know what I'm saying the ideal of what sex is to some people. He's like I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Okay, who's to say he was wrong because his ideal of sex may be okay, well I didn't fuck the chick so I didn't have
But
sexual
he did
relations with
though. But he did though. There was okay. Go
her.
ahead.
But I'm just saying, he got the dude was getting some head in the Oval Office. He said, I'm just saying, but however, that his some people to some people that's not sex,
Mm.
you know, to some people if they kissing, you know what I'm saying, and heavy petting, you know what I'm saying, what's the old people call it, making out. That's you know what I'm saying to them that's sex. So establish. So you need to establish what sex is to you as a person. So the other in relation to the other person. So they you saying you know.
Mm.
Um, hey, let's go. Hey, let's go get to the free clinic. That's another
STIs.
people
Well, I
don't, you know what I'm
mean,
saying?
first of all,
People don't ask.
I'm gonna
But
say, you should have had that conversation. When we talk about sex and relationships, are we talking about once you're in the relationship or as you go into it?
I think, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to get involved, you know what I'm saying, sexually with a person as far as that's concerned, even, I mean, everybody ain't gonna take this the same, but you don't go to the club and you saying you see that one night stand and you're like, hey, so have that and have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for people that are dating or decide that okay, we are dating a couple or however, some of this they may have shared some of this, but it is truly it needs to be a subject of I'm saying of the conversation
Mm-hmm.
that is had between those two people. Because like I said, depending on where they met, how they met, you know what I'm saying, if they've already, you know what I'm saying, engaged in that way sexually, um, it might none of that out the window. Do you, will you, can we, what time? You know what I'm saying? It could have been one of those
Mm-hmm.
type situations. And so yeah, I think dating and moving, and I mean it should be a continued conversation because again, people evolve. They like, I'm saying, you see something, hey, I might want to try that. I might like that. So it should not be a one-time conversation and you expect this person not to change throughout life depending on when you met them, how you met them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying at what stage in their life you met them. Um, that said, again, it should be a continued conversation, an
Yeah.
open conversation throughout whenever.
All right, I got one.
Okay.
Let's say you have some more, how do I put this? Um, some more taboo sexual proclivities.
Oh,
How soon do you tell that person that you into that shit?
so let me. I, hmm. So this is a conversation we're going to have in our after dark situation that's coming up. But
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna dive deep into that whole situation with BDSM situations.
But I mean, it could be other things. You know what I'm
But I
saying?
mean,
That
it could
kind
be, you know
of,
what I'm
yeah.
saying, BDSM, you know what I'm saying, that,
Could be into furries and midgets. I don't know, but
but,
it's like,
but see that, well, see, your kink,
yeah.
that covers a lot, you know what I'm saying, as far
So
as,
at what point, if you have some more taboo kinks, do you have that conversation? At what point do you say,
I
"Hey,
think, I think it should be a part of that conversation because,
the initial conversation"?
I think I really do because now there are some people, I will say this, um, because depending on the stage of the dating or the relationship, there's some of those kinks that you might not want to share with that person,
Mm,
right? That said, so now, and I mean, when I say not share, I don't mean not include. I mean also that person does not know, depending on how well you saying, how much you trust that person, how well you know that person, how far, what you intend to engage with that person, you know. But the further along you get in that relationship, the more comfortable you get in trusting that person. Um, I think those continued conversations that you have, you know what I'm saying, you might not want to dump it all on them at one time, depending on what's happening. But you know what I'm saying, that to continue, hey, I mean, you know, I'm like, hey,
but doesn't it kind of like, okay, say like you're really like you're into these kinky things, right?
mhm,
And like you're not really satisfied unless you're doing those things,
right.
right?
So now that being said, first off, you should not be involved with someone that is vanilla about it. That's off top.
But how do you know that unless you're having that conversation?
Having that conversation. Like I said, it should be a part of that. If you're comfortable enough to have that initial conversation, you should be comfortable enough to have at least a portion of that conversation to let them know that this is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I like this. And judging by, you know what I'm saying, their reaction, or you know what I'm saying, or even asking them, hey, what are you into? What do you like? That type of situation.
I
That
was just gonna
feedback you
say
get,
that. I was just gonna say,
yeah,
I feel like the simple
depending on,
solution is just being like, hey, what are you into? And then
and yeah, you get that feedback, then you know. Because if that person is, I think, I mean, I honestly think for me, um, I can personally, I can engage, I can have, you know what I'm saying, no sex. But would I date somebody knowingly that they are for me? No. Because I want somebody to be able to, you know what I'm saying, if I want to jump off the ledge, I want them to jump off the ledge, you know what I'm saying, be able to jump off the ledge too.
I'm saying, so are you telling them that, before you have sex or after you have sex? Like, if
That
you
be,
said you're somebody who's capable of having vanilla sex, right?
yeah, well,
You
yeah,
can do it, but it's not your long-term preference.
yeah, right.
So are you, is it kind of like, I want to ease you into this
No,
part of me?
me, no, I'm like, look, this like redhead, you know what I'm saying, paraplegic midgets. What's up? Come back. You know what I'm saying? No, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Come back. I feel judged right now. I feel judged.
What is wrong with you? Oh God. Oh man. Oh. Mm. Wait, hold on. So I think, in my experience, it is harder as a woman to tell a man if you have certain kinks than it is the other way around. I feel like if we just quickly just focused on like BDSM, right? Like as a dude, I feel like it's almost like it's easier to tell a woman that you into that. Because if she's not into it, she's not, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Some women just don't like that shit. But that's a little easier. Um, but the flip of that, like telling the dude that you're into that and you don't know that he is already. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, it can be an awkward conversation.
Conversation. Yeah, I can see. And that being said, you have to be comfortable enough with that person, because that going into that realm of sexuality it requires a lot, a lot of trust.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have that even to tell that person. You have to trust them enough that, for one part, I'm saying that I guess that you're not being judged as far as that goes. Coming, I'm saying, I mean, even from the male perspective, but like you said, more so women, that you're not being judged, and then them, if you want to include that person in that realm in your life, um, still enough to trust that person
Mm,
to do whatever it is
you want to
that
try?
you want done. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's more so a trust issue for women in or being judged by you
Mhm.
saying that person.
And I think it's also
Um,
too, like, I was having this conversation with someone the other night, and I was saying like, the conversation around sex is different for men than it is for women, boys as it is for girls, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, me coming from, I think I said this in my very first sex video I did last year, season one, um, coming from like a not traditional, but like, old school Jamaican West Indian household, we didn't talk about kinks. We didn't talk about those type of things. You know what I'm saying? We barely even talked about sex, but we definitely didn't talk about all of that stuff. So it's like you it's more drilled into your head that like those are like unladylike. You know what I'm saying?
Man, look,
Like,
say what,
or
say, look, no,
that's that
no,
white
no,
people shit.
no. I'm about,
That's
yeah,
whole
say what
shit.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's whole shit.
that's
You know what I'm
yeah, that's
saying?
that
Or
white
that's
people shit.
It's that white people
Yeah.
shit. That's that whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck is you. It really doesn't matter what the kink is. Having a kink, period. Like anything
Yes,
outside of vanilla.
absolutely. Yeah,
It's
anything
like, what
outside,
you mean,
whatever.
like the. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Um. So but those societal norms, you know what I
yeah.
mean, are drilled differently into women's heads. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it's not just women. You think, even in still,
Religious people.
yeah, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
being from the South, um, that whole that Bible Belt. Whew. No, you can't do that. I had you saying I heard a friend said that to me earlier. I'm saying you can't do that and then and praise God on Sunday or praise God whenever. Yes, you can't. We again. I'm saying I'm gonna plug it. I'm saying the after dark. Um, we'll get into it, but also being poly
Hmm.
and religion. You know how I'm saying your family accepts you or doesn't accept you being you know what I'm saying in that relationship. So
But I feel like at the same time, the Bible says the marital bed is uninhibited. You know what I'm saying? So
it
it's
does.
like,
So what you look, so whatever I'm doing in my bed
and
in my
my
marriage
bed
is
is
my
uninhibited.
right.
It's my business, right?
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of people go through, you know what I'm saying, and they pick the Bible apart and they're like, you know what I'm saying, the man who found the wife, but he didn't say how he said a wife. He didn't say one wife. He just said wife. When did they ever go in there and say, hey, look, you can only have one?
A man who findeth a single wife.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah, 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 yeah,
I was
yeah.
being funny. I was saying
Oh
like
no, I know.
that's
I heard
not
you.
what it
I
said.
heard you. Yeah, I heard you.
Hey,
No,
look,
he didn't say that. He didn't,
I'm off of
yeah,
policy. I ain't
I
talking
got you.
shit,
You know
but
what I'm
I'm like, I
but
get
I'm just
it.
saying
I
that's
get
I'm
it.
saying you think about this cause and it goes to that. Like I said, people depending on where you are, um, I guess being here, especially being here in the United States, when you go to Europe, you see that you know what I'm saying sexuality is treated differently. You can
Hmm.
tell by the television shows, um, as far as advertisements throughout the city, the way that people dress, and I mean in the stores, and how I mean it's like sex. They make sex a norm, just like kind of um, what they say in Europe or in Spain. You know what I'm saying with the kids, you know what I'm saying kind of drinking wine or whatnot. It's not a depending on where you are. It depends on how your sexuality is rounded and how accepted your kink is. Because you go to
Yeah.
Europe and they be and they and I mean you like, hey, oh you don't have crotchless chaps. That's a normal thing over here. You know. So
Understood.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's, culturally and, it's very different. It's just like even just amongst black people, you know what I mean? It's like, no, that's other shit, right? That's
yeah,
their
that's the
shit. We
devil.
don't do that type of shit.
Devil.
You know what I'm saying? That's the devil.
That's the
Or,
devil.
you know what I'm saying? Anybody finna lock my ass up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
you'll
said that
still
and your ass was chained up last night. Know it. Listen to Miley Cyrus.
Right. But I feel like, that those are conversations that you have to have. Um, because
Because
I find that like now I'm speaking from experience, like I'm speaking from like coming out of a situation and you know, coming out into the world, so to speak, and like have an opportunity to like explore my sexuality, you know what I mean, in its fullness, or at least trying to get into its fullness. Um, I was taken aback by um how many people were into like other things. And I'm like, but this was never, it was like, oh, you too? Oh, wait. You know what I'm saying? It was like the conversation was very like low key and secret because it's so taboo to be into whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's like basic level shit though. Like if you're into threesomes, like depending on who you're around, it's like what? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but I think
I,
it's important to let your partner know that because I feel like you don't want to get in a situation with someone where you're not having those conversations and now you feel unsatisfied and you know what I mean? Now you out here
you
doing stupid
frustrated.
shit in the street
Yeah, yeah. Now you frustrated. You know what I'm saying?
because you
Yeah,
can't get that shit you like at the crib. And it's like, just have the conversation, knowing that you might not get it. And then you got to make a decision about how important it is.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Communication is important, especially as it relates to sex. Now, what do you do if you feel like your sexual partner, your whatever, your partner is not your sexual equal? Either they are greater than or less than. So either that person is way more advanced than you, and you feel like you live in the Drake life, where you like, is anything I'm doing brand new? Or you know what I mean? That person is a novice, a newbie to whatever, or they are just like vanilla and you're not.
Um, Again, as far as again, I personally wouldn't date someone or get involved with somebody who's never not the fact that that's the first conversation we gonna have, but we're definitely going to have that you saying that conversation, or I'll have an idea that she's not vanilla before you saying we even
So you
get
feel like
to
you can read that about someone that they're not
not
vanilla.
yet. I'm not necessarily read it into them, but I ask questions, and you saying, and some of the shit may be or make comments, and some of the shit may seem off the wall. It may be even pertain to the conversation we're having. It could be not be about sex or be about sex, and not the fact that I'm. It's gonna sit like you're in a seem like you're in an inquiry, but I'm gonna ask a couple of questions. I'm gonna get some answers, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I got an idea. So now I can ask that question, and then you like, oh hell no. And then okay, oh hell no. Oh hell no.
Mm-hmm.
So I already know. It's you're saying quality, not quantity. And if it is not worth, I feel if it's not worth my time, I'm not gonna do it. So again, I mean somebody will because niggas is out here fucking. I'm saying redheaded, paraplegic
Don't
mentally.
say it. Don't say it.
So somebody gonna get it.
There's something for everybody.
This is something for everybody.
But like, okay, so like I
So,
said,
but
but
for
if
me,
it's
but
if it's
like I
a
said, but like I
situation where
said,
the person is less advanced,
yeah, but okay. Now that's you saying less than if that person has an interest and that person wants to. You saying okay, I'll try. I don't want to say put forth the effort, but don't be just totally dismissive of it. And they, because if they try, okay, they might find something they do like in that. You saying along that journey, it may not be everything you into, and again, then that's not your match. But then at the same time,
do you think
they
your match has to be into everything that you're into?
some things can be
I
you
want to
may
answer
be
this one.
you may be willing to forego some things. You know what I'm saying, as far as yourself, um, for your partner, and that depends on the person.
Yeah.
That depends on the
No.
person. Hey, hey, now for me, hey, look, I'm saying
Those are,
some
I
people.
wanted to answer it too. I'm just saying on my side. I'm
I
like,
was like, nah, no, I
yeah,
didn't say
I'm
me.
like,
I know I didn't say me. I said
oh,
some people might want to. You know what I'm saying, might be able
I
to
don't think that's a good
forego
idea. I don't think
some
that's a
things
good
for
idea.
that partner.
I mean, unless you're just gonna like
But
watch it
again,
on
that
porn or something.
about it. But again, it depends on the relationship because you might not do it, but then they might say, hey, well, I can't do it, but I got, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
a
that's
friend
not
down the street
typical.
that can do it.
That's not typical. But I get it.
But hey, but again, you don't know their relationship. They could be
Yeah.
potty. They could be doing this. You know what I'm saying, and that
Yeah, they
they
could
could
be.
have that need.
Yeah, they could very well be. I just could not be with someone who's not into everything that I'm into. Like, and I know that might sound crazy because there's some shit I'm not into. But I'm like, like I don't know. You know, I'm 35. I'm at my quote unquote peak. You know what I mean? So I'm like, nah. Like, yeah, there's some things that I might not like. I guess I'm what you call it. I'm contradicting myself because like there are some things that are not that serious. Like if they don't happen, they don't happen. But I think that's like the underlying things, you know what I mean? Like if you're into a kink, there might be 5 or 6 things that go underneath that. And it's like
Okay.
I'm willing to like I can forego one or two of those things on that list of 6, but you gotta be at least with 4 of them shits. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
And that's
You know what I'm
what
saying?
I'm saying, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, if you were talking about like, you know, say we were already talking about it, but say BDSM, for example. Like, okay, maybe you don't like to be tied up. You can let that go if you're willing to do A, B, C, D, or that other shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can get around that.
Okay.
Saying like, I still need you to fill at least 4. You know what I mean? Out of that list of 6. What I can't deal with is just being like, hell no, hell no to all of that.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel you. I feel you. Like I said, I mean, there be some things that even compromise on,
mm,
and that may suffice. So I mean, it's a conversation that should be had. And like I said, depending on the level of trust you have with that person, the level of trust you feel engaging beyond telling him and that or him or her, and then engaging in that way, there's a great level of trust. And I think that's having the conversation first is the first step, and then having enough trust in that person to fulfill that, depending on, you know what I'm saying, what that kink is. I mean, and then not being judged, like you said. Some people might be furries, you know, telling people, hey, I like to drop stuff like Papa Smurfs. Mm,
somebody like it. It may not
somebody
be the
like it.
person that you with, but it's somebody like it.
Yeah, yeah, you know, that type, yeah. And that person looks at you like, oh, you weird, you know what I'm saying, you crazy, fuck, da, 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 da. And then, okay, you sitting there looking stupid. So you
Hmm.
got to still feel a little comfortable, well, trusting that person with that information. Um, but yeah, I think that's it. It's the conversation. It needs to be. You don't have to divulge everything, but I think parts that you saying that conversation needs to be had. Like, I I have these kinks. We might can discuss them later on down the road type situation
Yeah.
because yeah.
All right. So, how important is maintaining sexual energy outside of the bedroom?
Oh,
Do you know what that means?
oh man. Um, I think it's a level of excitement for you to have. I think it's very important, and it brings a different level of excitement to your relationship if your partner is willing to engage you or should be willing to engage you in that way. It keep, you know what I'm saying? It keeps the spark flying. It keeps shit flying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's all about the anticipation and the buildup.
Yeah.
You
That
know what I
too. Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Right. To me, that's why it's important. It's creating that, oh, I can't wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, keeping the fire going, keeping the sparks going, keeping the um, it's a way to tap in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's a way to tap in and connect outside of, the standard shit. Like, I love you, I miss you, how's your day? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
um, it's one thing to get like a hey babe in the middle of the day. It's another thing to get like a freaky ass message in the middle of the day. Because that's a whole different train of thought. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Right.
you didn't
Right.
just have a fleeting thought. You had a full on
Yeah.
movie.
Moment. You had a moment. Yeah.
And you thought about me. You know what I mean? Like, that reads very different. That ooh, you know what I mean? That's an end out type of moment.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
for that, I think it's very important to engage sexually outside of the bedroom because
Yeah.
that's how you end up in the vanilla. You know what I mean? That's how you end up in the, and not even like good vanilla. Like, it's like the McDonald's ice cream machine vanilla. Like, it's most of the time it's not really working.
Mm. Damn. And you get the frappe in the middle of the day. Damn. You know what I'm saying? You needed that caffeine.
No blizzards, no ice creams, no.
No nothing.
That's how you end up in that. That's how you end up in that space to do that. Keep your partner intrigued. Keep your partner on their toes. Um, within reason, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you should ever do anything that you're not comfortable with. However, I would always be mindful of how far you stick in your level of comfortability. Like, if you're not willing
Okay.
to grow and learn and expand and try new things, that can also be a problem too. You know what I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Like you asked the question before, as far as somebody that's not quite where you are and how you deal with that. If that person is not willing to, um, I guess at least stick a toe in the water to see, you know, where you are.
I'm so glad that's where you went with that. 'Cause
No, I wasn't in this. Come on, man. You just messed up my whole thought right there.
I'm leaving that in. I'm
But you said, hey, look, you stick a toe in that too. That's what I mean.
sorry. I got so worried for a second. I didn't know where you were going
But,
with
but what if you stick a big toe in there and you like it, then hey. Oh, oh,
that.
with the big toe.
Stop. Stop. I swear. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit, please.
Somebody out there like it.
Anyway. I thought we weren't going there and then you went there. So let's move away from there.
I wasn't there, and then you just, you know what I'm
And then
saying?
I thought you were, and then you went there anyway. So
Yeah.
I only thought you were going there because I know what you're capable
No.
of. Lord have mercy.
No.
Jesus be
No.
a bit. Uh,
What was I? What was I at? What was I? I was
you gotta be
answering.
willing to stick your toe in the water.
No, I was there, but I was saying something prior to that.
You gotta be willing to try. Step
If a
outside
person,
your comfort
oh yeah,
zone.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, being able to having the ability to step outside your comfort zone and at least when you're like a stick your toe in the water to dabble in that what's happening and see if you do or don't like what that is. Um, no, I can't deal with that because if you won't budge from where you are, then we already were not compatible.
I think it's
We're
important
not
as the
going to be.
person. I think it's important as the person on the other side of it, the person that has the hesitation, that when it comes to things sexually, I feel like if the answer is no, you have to ask yourself why it's a no. Like, is it because you don't think, like, you're scared? Is it because you're worried about what someone's gonna think, though it ain't nobody business? You know what I mean? Is
Right.
it because this just feels innately wrong to you? Is it because it's gonna trigger something for you that you're not comfortable with? Like, I think it's important to always take a moment to explore your nose, your internal nose.
Right.
Um, because once you start doing that, I feel like some of those things, some of those no's you'll knock out, and then you'll be able to further fully explore the range of your sexuality. You know what I
And see, I
mean?
don't think, yeah, and I don't think, I listen, like I said, if it's something that you just, like you said, innately feel is wrong, and it's something that you don't want to do, for me, I'm not going to sit there and try to offer you a professional's, not my professional, a professional's way, how to get you to where you're saying I am, because I am not qualified in that area.
And I don't
You
think that
need,
you should.
and
I
I,
don't think that you
but
should. I think if
right,
the person is saying no, as if the person is saying no, respect the no. But I'm putting the onus on the person saying no to check
right,
yourself and ask yourself, why is this a no for me? Why do I not want to do this thing? Is
okay,
it, and then I feel like when you can ask yourself the question and give because whatever answer you give is going to be genuine to you. So if it feels like innately wrong or it's just something that just doesn't appeal to you at all, then cool. If it's fear or some of those things, then you can start doing the work to,
yeah,
figure out how to get past that. Because I think the worst thing that can happen is when you sexually repress yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking from a place of experience. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you repress yourself because you're constantly, it's that internal battle of should I be, you know what I mean? What if people
right,
do? What if I? And then it's like you get to a certain point where you like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like what I do in my bedroom, or if I decided to become the world's biggest porn star tomorrow, that's my business. You know what I'm saying? Like
check out our OnlyFans.
I'm not quite there yet. Give me some time. No, but I'm like, I'm like, but I'm just saying, like, it's coming to that point of like being more confident and more secure in your sexuality. You know what I mean? Like, and knowing that your sexuality is not indicative of like who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Or whatever. It's just what you've been through. It's just what makes you feel good. And as long as you're
yeah,
not hurting someone else or taking something from someone without their consent,
and yes, that's yes,
yes. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm just like, run it. Like, what are you holding? You're holding yourself back. You know what I mean? Like, you're holding yourself back from just being able to fully, because I've learned, like, and I'm like, as you say, I'm no expert. You
yeah,
know what I'm
right,
saying? I'm no
yeah,
expert. But I feel like the more spiritually in tune I've become with myself, the more sexually in tune I've become with myself. Like the more I'm spiritually like kind of aligning myself and I'm comfortable in who I am, you know what I mean?
right, right,
Then the sexuality part of it clicks in because it's like, well, I'm good with me. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm good enough to try A, B, or C, or I'm good enough to own my sexuality. And it's not overnight. I mean, I still have situations where I'm not totally open with my level of proclivities or kink. You know what I'm saying? Right? But I think like that's an important conversation to have, and in due time you build to that level of
Right.
full comfortability, like you said.
Yeah. I feel that's the way it should go. Um,
Because the
if there
man
is,
that gets me at this phase of my life,
watch out.
I shall not. I ain't never scared. So the man
You
that gets
coming
me at
on
this,
up. Oh,
no, you know what I mean. I may not have Meg the Stallion knees, but I got
you say your throat 6'1"?
Oh man. But yeah, no, so that's real shit. Like the person that meets me at this phase of my life is definitely winning because, like I said, I feel more aligned and I feel like that's important. I understand now why they say women hit their sexual peak at around this age. You know what I mean? And I just think it's kind of like at 35, it's like, it is what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think
See,
that's when a lot of women start to just kind of either settle into who they are or make a definite decision to evolve.
okay. I feel the same way. Um, but unluckily for a lot of men, now a lot of men, well, I won't say a lot, some men, um, younger men, get the opportunity to meet women your age, and
Mhm.
they get to experience that sexuality because at a younger age, I'm saying, you know, women your age, they might meet a 22, 23, 24 year old. It depends on what they're into and what they're attracted to. They might meet
Mhm.
one. So, and they get the ability to, I won't say train, guide that young man into,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, they
Mhm.
prepping them. So as they get older, you know what I'm saying, they evolve into, you know what I'm saying, demons. Um, and that's what you get. Um, but then you get some men that don't get that experience, and then they get to your age and older, and they meet somebody that's like Billy Mays. What? There's more? Yes, there's a lot more to it. Same thing. I'm saying the same holds true for women because you have some women that I'm saying coming having that mindset, having been in relationships. I'm saying for throughout their 20s,
Mhm.
and then they get. I'm saying they get out of those relationships, and then they meet these demons, and they're like, "What the fuck? Where's that shit been? I ain't never had no shit like this." That's why niggas out there getting their windows broke. You know what I'm saying? Their tires slashed,
I
cars,
feel like that's
keys,
happening to them younger women now. I
bricks.
feel like
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Bricks thrown through their shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the demon dick. And you know what I'm saying? They know what the fuck to do with it. They never felt them emotions before.
hmm. So it's a fucked
Now
up
you said,
cycle.
but you said that you know saying younger women, the younger women ain't doing that to the older dudes. Just the younger women, they doing that to the dudes. We're not gonna do that. But it's
They're
the they
doing
just
that to the dudes that went and got them a cougar and learned some shit and then tried to drop it on that young girl who wasn't ready for it yet. You know,
right. Yeah, and then they, you
that's
know
what
saying now
happened.
they are just being assholes because they don't know what to do with all them
Because they
emotions.
dropping off relationship dick to
No,
bitches they
no, no,
not
no, no,
in
no, 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 no.
relationships with.
Not always. Not always. It's not always
Ah,
relationship. It's not always relationship dick, but it's some good
it's
dick.
relationship dick.
No, man, look, good dick,
Listen.
you know what I'm saying, go a long way. And good dick will have, you know what I'm saying, and it ain't got to be relationship dick. That have a
No, no,
motherfucking
no,
out
no, 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 no,
again.
no, 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 no. See,
Go
see,
ahead.
see, 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 see. You gotta understand. Like good dick is relationship dick. It's the kind of dick that you hope that you. It's the kind of dick that you hope you get to settle down with because that means you always have access to. That is relationship dick. Okay. That is this dick so good. I want to be in a relationship. That is relationship dick. And niggas be dropping off relationship dick with no relationship intention. They be doing intense shit. They be touching shit, shifting furniture around and shit. You know what I'm saying? Doing stuff,
Tagging uteruses. That's what they be doing. That's what they be doing. You know what I'm saying?
tapping on uteruses, and then be like, "Well, you don't understand why she tripping. You know why she tripping. You know
Okay.
why she tripping. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like, you know why she tripping. And that's real. Like,
so make so fellas, you heard it here first.
no, stop. This is the second.
Don't fuck the feelings. Do not
Be
tap the
careful.
uterus.
Be
Be careful when
careful
you tap. Be
when
careful when you tap the
be
uterus.
careful when you dropping off relationship dick
Oh,
to
I'm sorry. I'm
somebody
sorry. I'm
that you
sorry.
don't plan on.
Hey, don't fuck the feelings.
Don't fuck the
Do
family.
not drop off relationship dick
No,
without relationship intentions.
that's a fact. There's just certain shit that I think you should avoid. There's certain things that I think you should avoid. I think that like I
What's
think
that? What?
there's certain shit that I think you should avoid. Like I think
Okay.
like prolonged intense eye contact. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like
should. So hold up. So doggy style, all the time. Let's go.
not all the time. You can
Hey,
do this. You
wait.
know, close your
Hey,
eyes.
this is my list. Go ahead, son. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Prolonged intense eye contact, just that real like slow, intimate body grinding shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
No,
like
you don't get none of that.
none of that. You don't do none of that.
Ain't none of that shit there.
Don't do none of that. Just keep it simple, son. You can drop off
Okay,
good dick. You know what I'm saying? You
okay.
can drop off good dick, dope
But you
dick,
just
even.
said, okay. I'm
No,
about to
no,
say,
no,
but you just said good dick is relationship dick.
no,
So
no.
you
I
drop off.
said good dick.
Okay,
Okay, there's a difference. You should always do your, drop off good dick. You can have good dick without doing all of that other shit. You know
okay.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like it's just
that's
a
what I'm saying.
good
Yeah,
sexual experience. But
yeah.
there's levels to this shit. And niggas be knowing when they like they know. They know. They know. They know. They know.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
No, they don't.
do.
Because if they
Yes,
did
they
know,
do. It's
because
a
if they
certain
did
look
know,
that comes across a woman's eyes. Niggas know when they fucking and they hit the crazy button. I don't care what nobody says. Niggas know when they hit the crazy button. But some niggas, they'll never know. But some most niggas know.
I'm about to say, you got the other little Johnny niggas out there. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
we're not talking about that. We're talking about the niggas that, God bless them with some. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? It's enough
all
to
right.
work. So that niggas know when they hit the crazy button. They know that shit. And then
Hey,
they don't have any intentions to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
but I'm like, females, the flip side is there's certain things that women can do sexually that is relationship pussy. You know what I'm saying? That is like, when you break out the different levels of bald headed hoe shit, you know what I'm saying? You know that
Hmm.
there's certain things that if you do this shit to this nigga, he gonna get in his feelings.
Oh
Because he's gonna want that shit
yeah.
constantly.
Or he gonna run from that shit constantly. Um,
Well, you know that he's scary and young. But like, you know what I'm saying? But you know that there's certain every woman has a thing if she knows what she knows. Every woman has
okay.
her finishing move, so to speak, right?
Okay. All
So
right. You know what I'm saying?
that there's
See,
some things
you know what you just said. See how you just said it? You said her finishing move. That's
her
some
finishing
Mortal
move.
Kombat shit.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
men do the same thing too. Finish her, finish him. Like there's a just like you go rounds right in Mortal Kombat. Then you got that
Yeah.
last round. And you got a choice
Right.
to make. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
got a choice to make. Same thing. You got a choice to make. You know what I'm saying? Do you just Do you win the game based on the fact that the light just went out?
Mm. Okay.
Like the timer went out and you got more
Yeah, I know what
hits.
you're talking about. I know. Yeah, yeah. The
You
time.
know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? The timer went out and you got more hits. Or do you use a finishing move and fuck the game?
Like, okay.
You have a choice. But know that if you exercise that finishing move, somebody finna get in their feelings. Somebody finna get in their bag. Now the perfect union is when you can finish each other. Then you have finally, ladies and gentlemen, it is at that moment that you have met your sexual equal. And that, to me,
Mm.
is a rarity.
So, in an overall statement, the discussion as far as relations, as it relates to relations, should be had early on during the dating period.
Agreed.
Okay. Um, so people, talk to your people. If you saying intend on being dating, you intend on being in a relationship with that person, that is a conversation that you need to have with that person early on. Because if they don't like whips and chains, and you like ball gags and butt plugs, it might be a problem.
There might be a problem.
It might be a problem. The wrong person might get the butt plug.
So, Jesus Christ. Whew, okay. So,
You don't want to be the person, or then maybe you do want to be the person getting the butt plug.
oh, this is going to be very interesting. And by this, I mean what's going to be coming up next, which is Hershéme After Dark. As Mike mentioned earlier in the video, we are going to be launching a separate series called Hershéme After Dark. And guess what we're going to be talking about? Sex after dark shit. Um, you
So
heard
if you
us.
like butt plugs and ball gags,
We're gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about all of those things. We're gonna talk about kinks. We're gonna talk about kinks as it relates to culture. We're gonna talk about it all. No subject is off limits. No topic too taboo. Uh, we're hoping to use Hershéme After Dark as a platform to not only have fun, but also teach. You know what I mean? Educate people
absolutely. Yeah.
around these things. The idea came from the fact that we have these conversations amongst our Hershéme circle. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
most of us are very comfortable with each other, so we talk about these things amongst each other, and it was like we just need to start bringing these conversations out, on in a bigger way. So, hence Hershéme After Dark. So, are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm excited to see for people that we got uh, coming up, fun people. You know what I'm saying? Some people that are what is now the lifestyle, is you know what I'm saying,
Mm,
as it's referred to, which I think is just stupid as shit. But hey, we're other, they're other,
okay.
um, they're other, right? But some of the people that we got coming up, they fun people, they jokesters, and I mean, and they're very knowledgeable. So I think um,
That's
people
right.
enjoy the
It's not just gonna
conversation.
be me and Mike. we
Right.
actually we
Yeah.
actually have a panel.
Yeah.
We have a
The
panel.
people, some
We'll
people,
still be
they
there though.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Um, most of the people that will be coming up are very knowledgeable, have been in the lifestyle for a number of years.
Mm,
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna have a different layout, like a different way than these videos play themselves out. So I hope you guys tune in. I've been putting up announcements on my social media about the 2 new things that are coming up for Hershéme. And other than Hershéme After Dark, we will also be having the King's Council. So we basically took the King's Court, shrunk it down.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to get deep into what that is because we're going to introduce you guys, hopefully on the next video, to the rest of the kings, or as we've been referring to them, the unholy trinity.
Hey, hey,
Starring the Godfather himself.
I'll give him a good side.
As well as Jewel and John, who you've seen on, our Kings video. So, like I said, we're not going to get into that too heavy, but I am excited about Hershéme After Dark. I think it's going to be great. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video or podcast or both, whatever. Anything you want to close us out with, sir?
Hey, welcome to 2021.
We made it with all our kings.